Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly groundbreaking, a piece of research that basically maps out the future of how we work, learn, and build businesses. We're taking a close look at the AI native human organization. Now, we hear the term AI thrown around constantly, right? Usually it's just talked about as a tool you buy or some software you install. But this research forces us to look way deeper. We're talking about fundamentally rewiring an organization's DNA for the AI era. We're shifting from just consuming artificial intelligence to actually living with it as a breathing operational ecosystem.
Imagine this for a second. What happens to your business when the cost of generating a 100-page business plan, or a really complex research report, or even basic problem solving, literally drops to zero? It's a bit of a cold open, I know, but it's an absolutely crucial question. We are facing an immediate crisis of value. In a world where creating content and strategy is essentially free and instantaneous, what exactly is your competitive advantage? Well, as we're going to see, the answer lies entirely in your execution and your structure.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the second literacy revolution, define what an AI-native organization actually is, and explore human-AI continuous learning loops. From there, we'll dive into the Tran case study, talk about winning the execution economy, and finally, break down the daily operator advantage.
Okay, Section 1, the second literacy revolution and the paradigm shift we are living through. To truly grasp the scale of what's happening right now, we actually need to take a quick step back in time. Think about the world before 1450. It could take months just to hand copy a single book. Then boom, the printing press arrives and completely democratizes access to knowledge. The research we're looking at beautifully parallels our current moment not with the Industrial Revolution, but with the printing press. Back then, suddenly, knowledge was everywhere. But society had to overcome a massive literacy gap. People actually had to learn how to read. Fast forward to the AI revolution today. We're now democratizing the application of intelligence itself. The printing press made knowledge abundant, but AI makes knowledge active and dynamic.
And that brings us to a really profound insight from the source material. The new global capability gap isn't about whether you can find information anymore. It's about whether you can direct machines. The future belongs to those who possess what they call AI fluency, meaning people who can successfully collaborate with intelligence rather than those who just sit back and passively consume its output.
Let's move on to Section 2, defining the AI native organization, which is a massive structural shift. What does this new kind of entity actually look like compared to a traditional business?
Simply put, an AI native organization is an entity where human cognition and machine intelligence are inextricably linked. It's like a giant interconnected puzzle. The vital takeaway here is that this is an economic and philosophical shift, not just an IT upgrade. Operationally, these organizations function as an event-driven system. Instead of waiting for a weekly status meeting to process a big batch of data, AI agents are reacting instantly to triggers and executing tasks in real time.
You can really see the stark contrast when you compare companies that just talk about AI with those that actually live with AI. Legacy organizations are stuck relying on human-governed, meeting-based cycles with a ton of manual handoffs. AI-native organizations, on the other hand, use AI-augmented, event-driven orchestration. For instance, the study mentions utilizing autonomous browser-based workflows, like a tool called OpenClaw. And while legacy firms constantly suffer from spotty documentation and lost institutional memory whenever someone quits, AI-native firms have this continuous integrated documentation where every piece of reasoning is permanently preserved.
All right, Section 3, Human-AI Continuous Learning Loops. Let's look at the mechanics under the hood that keep these organizations alive.
Okay, don't let the calculus scare you. I promise there's no math test at the end of this. But this equation actually proves something super important called contextual memory intelligence, or CMI. As an organization integrates AI, the goal is to minimize contextual entropy, which is just a fancy term for knowledge loss or brain drain, and maximize resonance, which is the alignment between what a human wants and what the machine actually does. In legacy systems, memory retention is terrible because of poor documentation. But in AI-native systems, every interaction is captured by the CMI layer. It basically eliminates that dreaded knowledge loss when an expert leaves the company.
In the real world, this mathematically proven concept translates into a very straightforward 5-step daily loop. First, you ingest operational data, things like SOPs, customer chats, or manuals. Second, the AI augments the human by whipping up a draft or suggested action. Third, a human expert supervises. They review it, correct it, and execute. Fourth, that human correction is automatically recorded straight into the institutional memory. And fifth, you iterate. The AI gets fine-tuned, the humans are literally training the AI through daily operations, and the AI is continuously augmenting human capability in return.
Section 4. The Tran case study. Let's ground all these abstract concepts into a real-world implementation.
Check out Tran University and the Louisville Beauty Academy. They represent the absolute pioneering frontier of using AI in vocational education. But here's the kicker. They aren't using AI to replace humans. They're using it to humanize education. They've adopted what the research calls a humanized AI principle, where the technology acts as an extension of founder-led values and human dignity.
The results they've seen are staggering. By implementing AI that was fine-tuned on the founder's specific vision and hundreds of their proprietary books, they built a 24/7 Ask the CEO AI mentor. This system supports over 100 languages. Imagine being an immigrant student. You can now navigate 500 pages of dense Kentucky state licensing law in your native Vietnamese, and you're guided by a caring, round-the-clock AI avatar. They have literally figured out how to scale empathy and trust, which frees up human teachers to focus on hands-on skill mastery instead of drowning in administrative hurdles.
Moving on to Section 5, winning the execution economy. How does all this operational discipline translate to a massive economic advantage?
Let's circle back to that $0 figure from the very beginning, because the cost of ideation and content generation has plummeted to near zero. Information scarcity is officially dead. You just can't differentiate your business anymore solely by having access to better information or writing slightly better copy.
So, where does the advantage actually lie now? It belongs to lean organizations that can execute. The execution economy highly rewards rapid implementation, the ability to turn an AI-generated strategy into a lived operational reality overnight. Interestingly, as cognitive labor gets automated, human touch industries, think beauty, wellness, healthcare, become way more valuable. There's a massive premium placed on physical presence, manual skills, and empathy. Thanks to AI-native backends, a small local salon can now offer the flawless operational consistency of a massive global franchise, delivering an Ivy League standard of hyper-personalized service.
Finally, Section 6, the daily operator advantage. Let's look at the philosophical shift and what this actually means for the dignity of human labor.
The research points to a major shift coming in education and credentialing. We are moving entirely away from hours-based credentials, the whole I sat in a classroom for this many hours thing, toward a performance-based I have done it mindset. AI strips away the bureaucratic friction so that human labor can be elevated. The AI handles the theory, the compliance, and the paperwork, and provides 100% auditability that perfectly preserves institutional memory. This means the human gets to focus completely on hands-on mastery and emotional intelligence.
So, what does this all mean for us? The competitive edge of tomorrow is not going to belong to the person who just buys the latest AI tool. It belongs to the daily operator, the individual or organization that actively integrates these continuous human AI learning loops into their everyday habits. I want to leave you with this final empowering challenge. In this new era, are you going to just consume AI's output, or will you step up and build the organizational DNA to truly live with it?